And there we go. We're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geeks and Company. I'm JS. They're over here. That's Jeff. This is the Geek Boutique podcast. Jeff, how are you doing this week?
I am so good. We are, as we were talking to our Instagram live viewers, we are one day away, one more sleep. And we're going to Niagara Falls Comic Con. There's some folks in the channel that are joining us that are also going to be with me at Niagara Falls Comic Con. 3 days of shenanigans, hijinks, cosplay, all the fun stuff, you name it. We're already in it, guys, and we've been live here for 2 minutes. So strap in, kids. It's going to be a good one.
So,
you, JS?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's summertime. I am on whiskey. Listen, dude, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, I know.
What the frick, man?
What are you gonna do?
How can a show be so good?
Yeah.
Listen, if you are not watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Jesus Christ, you have to watch this show.
Yeah.
It's, no joke, the best Star Trek since DS9.
I mentioned before when we had our Star Trek episodes, if you're looking for a launching point, if you are not into Trek at all and you're looking for a launching point, we're all extra silly today, to get into Trek where you don't need a lot of backstory, I got a bottle of Kraken for the weekend. That's funny, Jeff. I also got a bottle of Kraken because I couldn't find any Dead Man's Fingers. London is completely out of Dead Man's Fingers. So I might see if I can find some in Niagara, but I did get a bottle of Kraken. Yeah, get into Strange New Worlds if you want to experience Star Trek for the first time. It's a good one to get in. It's episodic. You don't need to see previous week stuff to know what's going on. And it's just fantastic. It's really, really, and this week's episode was no exception. It was another fantastic. This week's
episode was actually funny. Like a couple times I busted out laughing. Number one, and I forget her first name now.
La'an. Yeah.
Doing the Enterprise bingo. That was genius.
So
Listen, such a great show. I don't know how they're every week.
Yeah.
Every week they're an amazing episode.
Yep.
I hope it keeps going like that. There was one so episode so far,
right?
And I can't even remember what it was. Like, that's how good of a show this is. Like, I already know that. I remember there was one episode that was, it wasn't quite as good as the other ones, but I can't even remember which one it was.
Doug, you bring that bottle, my friend.
I have a bottle of Dead Man's Fingers. Or Doug, instead of going to Niagara, you could always just come to Curtis and bring that bottle with you, and get these old fools, and we'll take care of that bottle.
You should do that, Doug. Absolutely. Don't come have fun with all of your friends. Go sit with JS and watch Star Trek. That's what you can do.
Hey, there you go. Listen, today is not about Star Trek.
Shockingly.
It is actually about Obi-Wan Kenobi. The brand new series that released last Friday, and then released 2 episodes actually last Friday.
Yep.
And then another episode this Wednesday.
Yep.
What's the actual day that it comes out on? Is it going to be on Wednesdays? Or they're just going to randomly throw out episodes throughout the week?
I don't know why it didn't come out on May the 4th, to be perfectly honest with you. So
I don't know.
Everything about this has been weird about how they've brought it out.
Yeah.
Like it's only 6 episodes, so we're going to give you the first 2.
Yeah.
At the same time, seems kind of weird. And then now we get another episode like 4 days later, or 5 days later, whatever it was. Yeah. It's been a little bit bizarre. But having said that, I'm really, really digging it. I'm really enjoying it. So, and we should talk about that.
Yeah, the first episode I was a little meh on. The first episode was just the introduction of this new Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Where he's at in his life. Second episode, things started to pick up. Third episode, holy shitballs, man. Like, what the hell happened there? Loki Quinn, haven't watched. I'm not sure you want to be sitting in this chat if you haven't watched the episode.
Going to be spoilers from yesterday. Yes, unfortunately. There's no way for us to talk about this and not talk about what happened on yesterday's episode.
Yeah, because yesterday was massive.
Yeah.
Which so I'm a little surprised.
We'll get into that too, I think. I think we have to talk about that.
Yeah.
There's Jordan. How you doing, buddy? That's early for Jordan.
Hey.
7:06, Jordan.
It's like a second week in a row he's here at the beginning.
Tanith, you guys suck. See ya. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want it spoiled, don't watch, don't listen, or don't be here, because we're going to be talking about yesterday's episode. Maybe we'll wait a little bit before we talk about yesterday's episode.
We can.
Actually, before we even get
the first 2, right?
We should talk about the first 2. There's other things that we need to talk about. I have some gripes, or I have a tiny little gripe with the show that I want to air out right here, right now. There's also a little bit of controversy going around.
A little bit.
Moses Ingram, the actress that is playing Reva, the third sister.
Correct.
And I'm usually the rah, 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 canon, rah, 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 Star Wars. Rah. I've got some weird thoughts about this whole situation, and I want to talk about that as well.
I got a real spicy take on that. So
yeah, I mean, so do I. I'm not gonna lie, so do I. So we will talk about that. Niagara Comic-Con.
Yes.
So we were just talking with the people live here on Instagram, and we were already getting silly and laughing. And before we even went live here on Facebook and YouTube, it is
Goofy time.
Niagara Comic-Con this weekend. Man, I wish I was going to be going with you guys, but finances are what they are. Let's put it that way. So you maybe want to just reiterate your lineup, your cosplay lineup for this weekend.
If you are fortunate enough to be coming to Niagara Falls Comic-Con on Friday, I am going to be Commander William T. Riker from the TNG era. Road trip, yeah, Jennifer. You get him him in the car and get him into that. Yeah, let's do this. Saturday, I will be this guy behind me. I will be the comedian, along with the big Watchmen group that we've managed to sling together. And then on Sunday, I will be with the Channel 4 news team. I will be Ron Burgundy, and I will be joined by 4 other folks that are going to be playing the other characters from that. So, yeah.
And you're playing Ron Burgundy.
And I am playing Ron Burgundy, yes. So the beard's going to be coming off. So the beard will be kept for Riker, obviously, and then it's going to be mustache on Saturday and mustache on Sunday. It's going to be the mustache con for Jeff here, so he can stay home. Yeah, dude, I'm just going to kidnap your girl here, and she's going to come to Niagara Falls and hang with us. That's cool. You can just stay home. That's Jennifer. You're more than welcome to come and join our hijinks. By all means.
Hijinks is the word of the week. The word of the week. The word of the week.
It is definitely the word of the week.
Yes. Hijinks all around.
Hijinks all around. Marianne, do you want to tackle the Reva thing first, or do you just want to talk about the first 2 episodes sort of?
Well, maybe we can just recap the first 2 episodes. Because there is another thing I want to get to before we talk about the Reva thing. But do you want to maybe do like a quick breakdown synopsis of?
It's really the first episode we really get a sense of like you said where we are now, because we remember this happens 10 years post, right? This
Correct.
is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. It is still previous to the Mandalorian timeline that we've all been watching. So be aware of that, where we are sitting in the overall time frame. Luke and Leia are young children. So we get a peek into what Ben's life, and in this case, he is going by Ben as opposed to Obi-Wan, what his life looks like now, 10 years post. And it's obvious that he's not only just hiding the fact that he is Obi-Wan Kenobi and a Jedi, because hiding probably one of the most famous Jedi in the galaxy on a planet where the dude that's looking for him is from, you would think this is a no-brainer, but he is a completely different person. He is, in fact, a broken man who just
he's given up on being a Jedi.
He's given up on a lot of different things, and he realizes, everything that's. And by the way, we were right. He knew that Anakin had turned. He thought Anakin was dead. So what you're seeing is a man filled with regret over what he had to do, what he felt he had to do with someone that he considered his brother and was supposed to be the chosen one and all that stuff. So we get a real sense of what level of PTSD that he's experiencing off the bat and sort of what he's done with his life. And then the second episode, there is a reveal in the second episode. But in the interim, we get to meet the lovely and talented young Leia. I don't know the actress's name, but she is killing it. We get to see a lovely Jimmy Smits cameo as Bail Organa, the original Bail Organa.
Man, he's looking old, eh? Holy, I mean, he is getting old, but wow, I was surprised. Yeah.
We see her mother for the first time. We see the Lady Organa, and we get to see Alderaan, which we We haven't had a chance to really see any of the Star Wars stuff. So we do get to see Alderaan. We get to see a very precocious Leia, who I think is probably somewhere between 5 and 8 years old at this case.
She'd be 10.
I guess she'd be 10. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 10 years on. So she'd be 10. And we do get some confrontation in the first episode between Obi-Wan, or Ben in this case, and Uncle Owen. Owen's basically saying, stay away from us. And Obi's like, he's got to be trained. And Owen's like, like you trained his dad.
Burn.
Burn. Apply cold water to the burned area. But I feel like what the first 2 episodes really do, besides establishing Luke and Leia in the canon at that age range, is really detail, like I said, how broken a man Obi-Wan is. And then to cap it off, towards the tail end of the second episode, he learns that Anakin Skywalker is in fact alive. And it shakes him to his very core. Because now, not only does he have the PTSD of having to fight his brother and supposedly kill him, now he has to know that he's responsible for one of, if not the biggest bads in the entire galaxy. And he wasn't man enough or Jedi enough to prevent that from happening. So, yeah, I mean, I thought they played that. I know there's only 6 episodes. I know it's a third of, but I mean, I think they had to do this. They had to establish how broken, how triggered,
they did,
how PTSD it is. It is for him just to even entertain doing anything Jedi-like, which we'll talk about when we talk about what happens in the third episode. And I know some people had some issues with the pacing and stuff, but I think it was important to establish that. Much more so important than what they did with the Book of Boba Fett. I think the pacing on this was better before we did get into some of the action that we got into with the third episode. So, I wanted to make sure that we address the fact that yes, he's what they've done to establish his PTSD, I think, is brilliant, and I'm glad that they took the time to do it. You go right ahead.
Yeah, it really, really, really fleshed out. Like I said, where we're at, right? I mean, it reintroduces us to who's Obi-Wan Kenobi in this time frame, right? Because we never really saw Obi-Wan last time after Order 66, and then you don't see him till A New Hope, where he's like Guinness and dies, right? Yeah. We don't know what happens in between there. So it's fantastic to really get to know this new Obi-Wan Kenobi, even though the episodes themselves were slow. There was not much action. They do, however, introduce us to the core 4 Inquisitors.
Right.
Now, we've got the Grand Inquisitor, the third sister, the fifth brother, and I forget who the fourth one is. A point that I wanted to make about the Inquisitors is that the other 3 are still around in Rebels. Reva, the third sister, is not.
So Rebels takes place after this show?
Rebels takes place after this show, canon-wise.
Okay.
Which is messed up because they kill the Grand Inquisitor in the second episode.
Maybe he was a clone, or maybe they already cloned him. Who knows?
Well, I'm hoping they find a way to bring him back, and I'm sure they will. I guarantee you they're going to bring him back. This is all a ploy of some sort, because Dave Filoni is not going to kill a character that he created, knowing meanwhell he hasn't even showed up in the timeline yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's
for sure.
Anyway,
for sure.
So he's going to be back.
I think Marianne killed. I think they did a pretty good job of showing how you can come back from. I mean, maybe not Qui-Gon, but most guys can come back from a saber wound or a blaster wound or whatever. So
Darth Maul.
Well, Darth Maul got chopped in half and came back.
Came back. So they're going to bring him back. They're for sure going to bring him back.
And I like that actor. That's Rupert Friend. He was on Homeland for a bunch of seasons and did a really good job. So I do. He was also Hitman from the video games, and when they made.
Oh, he really?
Yeah.
You mean the Hitman in the Hitman movie, or he was the voice of Hitman in the games?
Hitman in the Hitman movie. There was 2 Hitman movies. He was the Hitman in one of them. I don't remember which one.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I didn't realize that was him. I would have to look up who he is. I didn't recognize him seeing him.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Got a lot of prosthetics.
A lot of prosthetics. I wish they made him look a little bit more like the cartoon version.
Okay.
Like he's got a bit more of a like that race of aliens we've only seen in cartoons, and when they depict them, they always depict them with like the like a Tic Tac shaped head. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Which he doesn't have in this. He's just a regular person, you know.
Hitman Agent 47. So I think that was like the sequel,
right,
to the original film. That's the one that he starred in as Agent 47. Yeah.
Hitman Agent 47. Rupert Friend. Oh, is that him? I didn't even realize that was him that was playing the Grand Inquisitor.
That's who he is.
Huh. Interesting.
Jordan asked me a question about watching a vid that he sent me about the Cantina, what genre of music. I have not watched it yet, Jordan. I will make sure that I watch that this weekend. I apologize. Things have been absolutely bananas, both with work and trying to get all this stuff ready for the con, but I will watch it, sir. You have my word. Hitman 2, Timothy Olyphant was the first Hitman. Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Yes,
correct.
Marshall. How do I forget that the Marshall was the... Wow.
That's right.
I'm a shit cosplayer. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy cosplay. Okay, do we want to talk about Reva?
Sure.
Or do you want to talk more about the Grand Inquisitor?
Sure.
I'm kind of glad it didn't go the way you were. I mean, we're not done yet, but there is some focus on the Grand Inquisitors, obviously, and now obviously with episode 3 with Vader, but it's not the Grand Inquisitor and Vader show. Like
I feel like the second half might just be.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling a little piece of Star Wars Twitter up on my screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
That was put up in response to some of the backlash that Moses Ingram has been getting for the character of Reva.
Mm-hmm.
And their tweet says, "We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Reva's story to unfold." Right off the bat, I have a problem with that quote. This is supposed to be Obi-Wan Kenobi's story, not Reva's story.
Yeah, but no one's taking any issue with Obi-Wan, right?
Well, I get it, but like, sure, you want to see her story unfold, but it's not her story. But anyway, if anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we only have one thing to say: we resist. That I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Now, I think that there are two things happening right now that people are construing into one. Moses Ingram went live. I know, Mike. I know.
I'm the twit.
Thanks, bud. Thanks, bud.
Let's be fair.
So there's two things I think going on right now, and this mainly started with Moses Ingram going live, whether it be on Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform it is, with a story of her basically talking about how she's been getting racist personal messages, stuff like you're just a checkbox. You're just a checkbox hire, or whatever that expression is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so she posts some of the racist tweets that she's been getting, and then that gets turned into all these news articles like Star Wars stands with Obi-Wan Kenobi's Moses Ingram amid racist fan backlash. Well, hang on a second. The backlash is not the racist part. She's been getting racist tweets. There's also a fan backlash that don't like the character. Now, I'm going to be clear right off the bat that I don't agree with either. I actually like her character. I think she's written to be unlikable. You're not supposed to like the character. You're supposed to hate her. Even the Inquisitors hate her, as shown in episode 3. She's a duplicitous. All she wants to do is climb the ranks. You're not supposed to like the character. She's supposed to be evil and bad. So the whole backlash about, we don't like the character. Well, duh, you're not supposed to. The racist backlash, well, that's just fucking stupid. Like, who gives a shit what color she is? Like, especially when you know the fact that she's not even an Inquisitor anymore, or at least she's not with the Inquisitors and Rebels. She's likely going to die in this show. Like, who gives a shit, like, what color her fucking skin is? Like, are you serious? So anyway, so that's my take on the whole thing. I understand why some people have issues with the character. I think that's stupid. The racist stuff, that's also stupid. That's my take.
My take is a little spicier than that. Strap in, kids. And let me get through it first before you...
should I go get another whiskey, bud?
You might have to. So obviously I agree with you that coming at her based on the fact that she is a person of color is the most ridiculous thing you could possibly do. I want to give you a third option, though, as far as why the initial, not the racist, bigoted side, but why the other side of the equation was happening as far as the backlash go. Not all the backlash for her character or her characterization is based solely on the character itself. I get that she's supposed to be unlikable. The problem that I think a lot of people, including myself, found and still find is that her acting is not up to par with. It's cringy. She's had some of the most cringe moments. It's not like a Dolores. I know you're not a Harry Potter fan, but there was a villain that they had in the Harry Potter films called Dolores Umbridge, and she was so despicable and dislikable, but the performance was so amazing. You couldn't you hated the character,
but you loved to hate the character.
You loved her performance of the character because she did such an amazing job. I know you could not disagree more, Jeffrey. Like I said, I knew this was going to be a spicy take. I just found, and Jeff agrees. So like I said, I knew this was going to be spicy, guys, and I knew it was going to be polarizing. I don't have an issue with the fact that she's a woman of color, and I have no issue with the character itself. I can tell what they're trying to do. I just found her delivery of a lot of the dialogue that she was given was very cringy. Maybe that's on the shoulders of the writers who gave her this cringy dialogue that she had to deliver. I don't know. The fact is, I think a lot of us found her portrayal of the character was not good, and it gave a door opening to racist, bigoted pieces of shit to come after her for being not only a person of color, but a woman of color. My issue with that is, if her portrayal of the character, if she walks onto that set for 3 days and nails it, then it doesn't matter. No one can come after her for anything. There have been other villains. There's an Asian villain that's standing right beside her. No one's going after that dude for being Asian. Do you know why? Because he's doing a killer job in the role that he's in. Mm-hmm. No one came after, or at least once the films came out, no one came after John Boyega as Finn. Do you know why? Because he nailed what he was given, by the way, which was not much, unfortunately, but he was amazing as Finn. Do you know who got roasted? The actress that played Rose.
Yeah.
She's not a person of color, but she's a person. Why? Because they gave her a lot of cringy, shitty dialogue that she only had so much to work with, and it didn't come out very good. So if it was simply a characterization thing, I don't think we experienced the level of backlash that we're experiencing right now. It is coming down to her acting. I know she's an Emmy-winning actress. I'm not saying that she hasn't been good before. I'm saying maybe they're not giving her good stuff to work with, and it's really handcuffing her in her performance in this particular characterization. Mm-hmm. That's the point I wanted to try to make. Poor Rose, I know. But yeah, chased poor Rose right off. But again, same thing. They gave her such a terrible storyline. They gave her such cringy dialogue. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh man, it's upsetting because she's having to deal with it. Her family's having to deal with it. It's bullshit. Nobody should have to go through what she's going through. There are parts of this fan base. We all know it, guys. If you're a Star Wars fan, you know there is some toxicity in this fan base, boy. Woo, Nelly. They could be shits. And it just gave everyone that is a racist piece of shit an opportunity to jump on this girl. It's not the problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. I think the point I was trying to make is that calling it a racist fan backlash is spitting in the face of all the fans that have an issue with the character that have nothing to do with the fact that she's a black woman. Right?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think the problem now, of course, is that Rose. It's already been done once. So now there's a pattern. Now there's a cycle. And I don't like being lumped in with that either. And that's what I was kind of trying to say earlier a little bit. We may have reached a point now, man. That's kind of the thing. All the shit you get for Discovery, some of the shit you get for not liking Discovery is people saying you're racist and that you're a bigot because it's a woman of color that's the star of that show. Your issues with Discovery have nothing to do with that it's a woman of color that's starring in that show, but you're getting lumped into that category, and that's kind of where we've gotten to, kids. If there is, she's not a checkbox. She earned her place on this show. She's been given direct to work with. She's been given terrible, terrible dialogue and scenes to work with. I imagine she's doing the best she can with it. But if we take issue with it, we automatically get lumped into the racist character, which I think is the ultimate point you're trying to make. That's where we're at with this whole the culture war that's going on now. And I don't know where to come out of it.
It's like this pile of shit that I'm serving you. And if you don't, you're a fucking racist son of a bitch.
Right.
Well, wait a second. I don't have to like everything.
Right.
It doesn't make me a bigot or a racist because I don't like everything.
And to be fair, would you want me to like it solely because it's a representation thing? Like, is that really what the ultimate goal is? I want diversity and representation. Glad we didn't get into the Jar Jar. I want diversity and representation in there too. I want people to be able to identify with as many different characters as possible. I'm for that. We did a whole episode. We did a whole podcast based on that. But nobody should be liking it strictly because it's a person of color, or it's a female, or it's someone that's disabled, or it's someone that's trans, or it's someone that's whatever. It should be based on that performance in that particular, whatever the case may be. We should be able to not like what we don't like. The problem is that little 1% idiots that barge in the door and like, oh, you guys don't like this girl? Yeah, we don't like her either, but we don't like her because she's black. Well, now you've gone ahead and fucked it up for everybody, haven't you? You racist, bigoted piece of shit, because you're less than 1% of the 1% of the 1%, but you're the loudest. So you're anybody here, all anybody hears. And now they lump us in with you guys, you fucking Martians. And yeah. So now what do we do? So what's the solution here, guys? Can we critique this actress for her portrayal of the character without getting lumped into the idiots?
So
that's my question for you guys.
I've got a hot take for you.
Give me the
I say yes, and I say, who gives a flying shit what people think? You have an opinion, and if people don't like your opinion, well, they don't like your opinion. You know, the pendulum is starting to swing back, Jeff. We're slowly seeing it. The pendulum is starting to swing back, and like this stuff that we're seeing now is I think slowly going away. People are starting to understand that because you're critiquing something doesn't mean that you have to be lumped in with these other people. I think the pendulum. I think so. I think so.
Well, I mean, it kind of runs counter to what you just said about being lumped in with the toxic fan. You know what I mean? Like, is it really going the other way? Because it doesn't.
I think it's starting to. I think it's starting to. But I mean, only time will tell, right?
Yeah, that's true. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. I mean, you're not wrong.
Exactly, right? I mean, if you can't have a conversation with somebody because you have a difference of opinion, well, that feels like a you problem. If you think that I'm racist because I don't like Discovery, that seems like a you problem.
Yeah. You're not racist. You're just wrong. And that's okay. You're
allowed
to be wrong. It's fine.
I'm actually about to make a video of why Strange New World does it so right and Discovery did it so wrong. Keep an eye open for that video. Coming soon to the Geeks and Company.
Where's Tim?
Tim's not online tonight.
I know he's not. It's upsetting me. It's terrible.
So a couple things I want to talk about here before we get to episode 3. So first of all, the fifth brother is Sung Kang. I don't know if you knew. Sung Kang, for those that don't know, is from the Fast and Furious franchise. He plays Han in the Fast and Furious. Han, who dies in his first appearance, and then you find out that all of the next movies come after. Anyway, and then he came back in the last one. Hey, you're still alive. I am. Still eating chips, but he's an amazing actor. I love him in everything that he's been in, and he's amazing as the fifth brother in this. O'Shea Jackson Jr. has a still undisclosed role in this. So Ice Cube's son, who plays Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton, is going to be in this.
Oh, can we talk about how hilarious it was seeing Flea as one of the bad guys from the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish they had developed that a little bit more because it was so funny that I was like, okay, please make this a running gag. And I hope that they do. I hope they bring him back for more because I laughed my ass off when I saw him show up.
It kind of, I'm not going to lie, like, so did I, but it kind of took me out of it a little bit. I was kind of like, oh, it's Flea. Like, I knew immediately who it was. So I was kind of like,
I thought it was funny. Well, same thing with Kumail Nanjiani. Kumail Nanjiani. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh, I think he did all right.
He did all right, but I mean,
so did I. I lulled when I saw Kumail too. Like, no. But at least Kumail is an actor. Like, you could expect to see him in things, right?
For
like,
sure.
Flea is not a Flea.
For sure.
Flea is Flea. Like, there's no. I don't know what category you put Flea. Obviously, a musician, but I mean he's Flea. That's all he is.
I hope he comes back. Not Flea, but Flea as well, but Kumail. I hope that wasn't just a one-off and he comes back.
He was also in Back to the Future 2 and 3. There you go.
He was. That's right. He was in Back to the Future 2 and 3.
He is an actor, clearly. Look at that.
Yeah. He plays one of the punks.
There you go. Oh, well, okay. Duh.
Sorry. He plays one of Biff's punks.
There you go.
The
Biff punks.
The Biff punks. Yeah. And okay, so this is where we're going to make the switch here because we're already a half an hour in, and I do have a lot of stuff I need to talk about the third episode. So if anybody doesn't want to have any spoilers for the third episode, if you're still here, time to go. See you guys next week.
Vaya con Dios, muchachos.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Should be next. Needles from Back to the Future. Needles, there you go.
Needles, that's it.
Yeah, so we are going to talk about episode 3, which came out yesterday. If you've not seen it, friends and family on Instagram, get out of here. We are dropping spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2. Now it's on you.
Okay. Episode 3 is Vader's episode. So we finally get to see Vader. We actually see him put the helmet on and the suit on, and we see Hayden's face and everything. It's all mashed up and burnt to a crisp, but it is Hayden Christensen.
Did you get the Iron Man vibes, by the way?
I did. I got the whole Batman suit up scene, right? I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
My only real issue with that is why did they not use the Imperial fucking March? Vader's getting suited up, but it's not his theme playing. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
You're very upset.
But seriously, how do they have a whole suiting up scene for Darth Vader, but it's not his theme playing?
Maybe they're remember we're still only halfway through the show. Maybe they're holding on to that for a more
maybe. I feel like every scene where we see Vader, it should be the
choking bitches out. When he drags that woman down the street, are you shitting me?
Yeah, so right off the bat, when
what a dick.
Yeah, when he shows up in the city and then he grabs the chick by the neck and then and as he's looking towards where Obi-Wan was standing, lifts her in the air. And then the other one comes out and he just drops her and snaps his neck. I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. This is it.
But when he grabs that one lady and
then just drags her.
And she's just dragging behind with the Force, I'm like, oh, he's not fucking about.
No, he was just savage. I found the intensity of the music was very lacking in this episode. It was. For how badass he was. It was.
Snaps the kid neck right out of the window.
The music wasn't right. That's my main issue. I said I had one issue with the show so far.
Oh, that's the gripe? Oh, okay.
That's my gripe. Is the music did not fit that episode at all.
Right.
And it's Darth Vader. Really. Yeah. How are you gonna have a Darth Vader episode, heavy Darth Vader episode, and not even play not even a remix of the Imperial March? You know when they did the Obi-Wan trailer, the first full Obi-Wan trailer, it ended to it was the Imperial March but rearranged.
Yeah. Yep.
They didn't even do that.
Yeah.
But you're right, he was scary.
You know what was
the dork size said.
Lighting. Yep. I agree, Marianne. The lighting was very, very good. How they lit that scene made it almost like a Twilight.
It was very cool.
Lighting as they walk through.
I love that a lot of that scene is lit by their lightsabers.
Oh, especially when they're in the gravel pit or whatever.
They're in the gravel pit and they're in the dark, and Vader comes out from the dark and his lightsaber turns on, and it's like, oh, fuck, right out of friggin' Rogue One, you know? Yeah. And then Ben the same. As he hears him speak, he lights up his lightsaber, and then it lights up the whole gravel pit. Yeah, that was an intense scene.
Do you think, so I got a couple of quick questions, and then I got I have a bigger point that I want to make, but do you think, we talked about this, but you know what? That'll have to be a bigger thing. James Earl Jones.
Yeah, he's back.
Okay, but is it him?
It is.
Are you saying that because you know that 100%?
Yeah, they announced that information a while ago.
Okay, just he doesn't in Rogue One. You could really hear the age in his voice, and here you can't.
Yeah.
So
how they did that, I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to with Luke. they didn't use Mark Hamill's voice. They used a computer AI program that will basically say anything that they want them to say in that person's voice based on sampling.
Oh, that could be it.
That's
that
what I was wondering.
But I mean, I'm looking at a TV Line article here and a Deadline article saying James Earl Jones confirmed as voice of Darth Vader in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay. Yeah, they still credited Mark Hamill as the voice too, but he didn't actually do any of the voice work. It's just his voice through an AI program.
Right.
Yeah. I was just
right.
You wanted.
I don't know. I would have to read up on it and see if it's like a software or.
Tim, you're a day late and $1 earlier, $1 late and a day earlier, whatever it is. We had a giant discussion earlier that we need you to be here for. That's fine. It's fine. You have a family. I understand. It's good. He wanted Obi-Wan medium rare, says Victoria. The Uno reverse card, says Marianne.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, there's no question that it's clearly James Earl Jones's voice. What I don't know is if he's the one actually doing the recording, because you could hear the age in his voice in Rogue One, and you can't hear it here at all. He sounds exactly like he sounded way back when, and that's physically probably impossible. So either he's doing the voiceover and then they're tweaking it, or it's a complete AI and he's being credited because it is technically still his voice. Sounded like they were occasionally having Hayden's voice crack through. Maybe
they did. I caught that as well.
High ground in this one.
Yeah, I caught that as well.
What? So I'm hanky on the Force, right? Like at one point in this episode, Anakin and Obi-Wan are like 20 feet away from each other. Obi-Wan can see Anakin, so that's how he knows he's there. Vader's there specifically looking for Obi-Wan, and you're telling me that Obi-Wan, who's not using any of his Jedi powers at all at this point, Anakin can't just go like, there he is. Like, it seems weird.
Well, I think that's what he's trying to do. I think that's why he's killing people. And he's dragging that lady on the ground and snapping that kid's neck because he's trying to get a emotional reaction from Obi-Wan so he can sense him. I think that's what he's trying to do. The same way that he does to Luke in Return of the Jedi when he's telling him, I can sense he's talking shit to him, trying to get him going. He says, your emotions are betraying you.
No, I get that. But by the same token, if you look back at the original films, I mean, Vader talked to Luke telepathically from like light years away. Like Luke was on the Falcon and Vader was on the Executor. And then as soon as Obi-Wan stepped on to the Death Star, Vader's like, I sense a presence I've not felt since. Like, it just seems weird that he was like there and he's trying to draw him out, but there's I think Kenobi is disconnected from the Force to avoid Vader. Maybe didn't make sense to me. I agree, JS. I felt like he was taunting Obi. I think he was, but he was also there hunting Obi-Wan. So I get the sense that it just seems weird. It's because it's kind of like when you go back to like essentially Anakin's daughter was directly in front of him multiple times, but somehow Anakin couldn't sense that was his daughter. Sometimes it's weird how they have to sort of modify what the Force can and can't do to make sure that it serves the story. And so for neckbeards like me, I'm just like, well, actually, why doesn't the Force pick up the blah, blah, blah? I get it. It's plot. I'm not stupid. I get it. It serves the story. It just seems one of the most powerful Jedi ever can't sense his old mentor that he spent years with when he's 15 feet away behind a door. Like that just seems like a bizarre thing to me. You know what I mean?
It is. At the same time, he's not Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right. He's Ben at this point, right?
He's Ben at this point, right? Yeah. He's not his old mentor. He's a hermit.
It's all very hanky. We have to be able to let go of so many important parts of episode 4, 5, and 6. Well, that's the bigger point that I want to get to, that this episode really, that you and I have talked about before, and you and I don't agree on this, but as far as I'm concerned, this episode doesn't just break canon, it takes a dump on it. So
I don't agree. And I mean, we've already had this discussion multiple times, but
I know
I'm personally more surprised that they didn't wait to do this in episode 6. Like, we're in episode 3 and already Ben and Vader have faced off. Like, okay, so it wasn't much of a lightsaber fight, but they had a lightsaber fight.
No, I know, but like, his exact
in episode
words,
3.
In his exact words of A New Hope is, the circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but a learner, but now I am the master. From where we just watched in Obi-Wan to that scene in Star Wars, A New Hope, Vader's station has not changed one iota.
Mm-hmm.
He is still the number 2 man to the Emperor.
Yeah.
He is the exact. He's in the same fucking suit. He's got the same skill set. His station has not changed whatsoever. So how is it that when they last left, he was the learner and now he's the master? Except for that one time I totally ragdolled and burned you on a desert planet and good times, like episode 3 there. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's just
I don't know. I don't have any good explanations. I
that's
don't
what
have
I
any
mean
good
by
explanations
it kind of breaks it down a little bit. But we talked about it. I understand we've talked about it, but I just kind of doing it for the fans. Like fan service versus canon, which is more important to you? Which can you get away with one, and if it means breaking the other? I mean, you're talking about a line that was said in 1978, and it's 2022. So I'm not
that's
oblivious.
the thing.
I get it. It'd just be nice to have, I don't know, some little toss away that would explain why.
So, I mean, and we might get that.
Yeah, I hope we do.
We might get that.
Yeah.
Because they could explain that in a number of different ways, right? I mean, when he's talking about, I was but a learner, he didn't say I was but a Padawan. He says, I was but a learner.
Yes. And now he's the
master. And now I am the master. Well, it could mean that, so back then he was learning from Obi-Wan. Now Obi-Wan's an old crippled man and he's the big dog. Do you know what I mean? That could be what that means.
But
right?
in this episode, he's not learning anything from Obi-Wan. That's the point also.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
that's
enough.
all we're saying. That's all we're saying.
Well, he might by the end of the show.
I don't think so.
Because
which is the bigger... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen everything that Obi-Wan has to offer in these first 3 episodes. Well, I think we're going to see flashes of the old Obi-Wan before the end of this series.
I think we have to, because there's times in this episode where he could use his Jedi powers to get them out of the myriad of situations that they get into, and he never does. He doesn't pull the Jedi mind trick on a single fucking stormtrooper, not one time.
He does not.
Or anybody.
He's completely disconnected from the Force.
That's
he has a hard time catching Leia as she's falling.
But when we see him in A New Hope, he's doing all that shit. So clearly there has to be something that happens in between where he reconnects with the Force, or he reaccepts his fate, or whatever it is that he does.
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
At least I hope that's what we're seeing.
Learning how to fail at catching Kenobi. Yeah. What about Reva entering the same tunnel after Leia, but somehow beating her to the end of it? Yeah.
That was kind of silly.
That was weird.
Yeah. I didn't really understand that part either, but yeah.
I do want to talk about little Leia because, oh my God. But
yeah, she was amazing.
I have a question, and I get the way the timeline works. So it's like it's hard because of stuff. How in the name of all that is decent and holy, if you watched all of this chronologically, and then you got to Return of the Jedi, and then you saw Vader turn, like you saw him redeemed and come back as Anakin.
Yeah.
Would you be on board with the redemption arc for this character now that you've seen the breadth and scope of what he's done?
For me, yes.
He killed a room full of kids.
Yeah, I hope we see more horrors coming from Vader. Vader needs to be a frigging monster, as far as I'm concerned.
There, man. No, I think we're good, dude.
He needs to get way worse. I think the worse he gets,
how do you get worse?
The more meaningful it makes that redemption at the end.
Aren't some
the more meaningful it makes that blood connection of him and his son, even though he doesn't really know his son.
No,
his son still sees that there is something in him.
Oh, dude! Like,
I don't know.
What do you have to do before you're irredeemable? Like, if you kill a room full of kids, that seems fairly irredeemable. Or you just walk into a town and you kill like 7 people.
Well, what does irredeemable mean to you? Irredeemable in the eyes of the people, or irredeemable in your soul?
Well, remember though, it's the audience perspective though, right? Like you have to buy the redemption arc, and when you watch Return of the Jedi, you've seen him choke out a couple of other Imperials. Well, who gives a shit? So it's a bad guy killing bad guys. I'm fine, and then he kills the Emperor. I'm okay if he redeems from that. But now that we've seen the utter shittery this man has done, the murder, the child killing, everything else, if this was a regular human and you were watching a TV show for 10 episodes, and by the 10 episodes they tried to make this guy a good guy at the end, you'd be like, fuck that guy. He killed a room full of kids. Are you kidding me? Burn in hell, you piece of shit. That's what your reaction would be. I feel like they're trying too hard to make his turn to the dark side to be so heinous and so terrible that it completely takes away from his redemption arc. I don't think he can be redeemed. How do you get
so there's a new comic book series. Well, it's not new anymore. It's been out for a while now, but there's been a new comic book series. That's a Marvel series that's canon-ish, I suppose. It's like post Disney. And Anakin, Darth Vader, takes a mate, a girlfriend. I don't know how that works. But and he ends up killing her. He just puts his lightsaber right through her back. Bitch, don't call me Anakin. Like, he's fucked up in the head, bud. Like, he's like evil.
No, that's it's kind of the point I'm trying to make. Like, I think sometimes things are irredeemable. Like, and again, from an audience perspective, I have to buy the redemption. And when I first watched it back in '83, I could buy the redemption. But now that I've seen everything this piece of shit has done since then, I don't buy the redemption. I want this guy to burn. I don't want him to turn out to be a good guy. He's awful. He killed a room full of kids. We have kids, man. Like, does that not hit you at a certain level?
Yeah, listen, I'm the guy that didn't like episode 3 because of the way that they turned and killed Anakin.
Right.
Killed Anakin.
Yeah.
I was so offended when I saw that movie and it came out of the theater. I was so mad. What do you mean he cut his fucking legs off? Like, what do you mean they took 3 movies to make us fall in love with this guy, and then they just make him bad and kill him? Like, oh yeah, I was not happy with how that went down at all. So yeah, listen, I get what you're saying, but to me, I feel like it makes that moment even more from the heart, because it's not about people seeing him redeem. It's not about it's him.
But Luke doesn't even know
becoming
that.
a Force ghost.
If Luke had known and seen it, yeah, dude, could you imagine? Like, he gets there and Qui-Gon there and Yoda's there, and they're all like, we lived pretty good lives, and we watched on the Holocron as this piece of shit killed 30 kids, and now he just gets to hang out with us as a Force ghost. Fuck this dude, I'm out of here. Like, I couldn't even imagine
that. That would be, that could be actually funny.
That could be funny.
That could be at least a funny skit of Anakin showing up as a Force ghost,
and they're all like,
and all the other Jedi be like, "What the fuck?
This
what are you doing here?"
He has one moment where he doesn't kill his son or doesn't let someone else kill his son, and now he like gets to No, dude, I am so sorry. I think they've leaned way. I think Tim put it pretty good as well. He just said they painted themselves in a corner early with his scope of evil. I agree, man. I think they spent too much time trying to convince us that the turn was a turn. Essentially, I think they leaned way too hard into it. Imagine being a kid and not only watching Anakin in 3 movies, but for 7 years on TV, you'd be devastated.
Well, exactly.
Watching him,
and then episode 3 comes along, and you watch him get decapitated and friggin' burned to like bacon, literally. Fucking bacon crisp.
Is that Revenge of the? Is that
in Revenge of the Sith?
You're talking? Oh, Revenge of the Sith. Well, he doesn't get decapitated.
Oh fuck! He loses both his arms and legs.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, I had the high ground. I told him. I warned him. Don't try it, Anakin. I have the high ground. And he jumped and he got chopped. So what do you want to tell you?
Yeah. A big chop.
He was my brother.
I hate you. I always thought that was so stupid. I hate you. What do you mean you hate him? Like 10 minutes ago, you were his best friend.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it turns out Obi-Wan did not underestimate his power, as a matter of fact.
I will say this. The Clone Wars, and I think I've told you this before, the Clone Wars had made me appreciate episode 3 a lot more.
Right.
Because you get to see a little bit more of his character development and his, especially in the last season, you get to really see him, even in the way he talks.
Mm-hmm.
He talks less like Anakin and he talks more like Vader.
Right.
A lot of people had issues with Hayden Christensen's dialogue in episode 3. Right. But if you actually listen to his dialogue, he's speaking like James Earl Jones is what he's doing.
Oh, his dialogue was fine.
Right? A lot of people think, oh, he's a shit actor and this and that. Well, I mean, I don't know that he's a shit actor as much as he's changing the way he used to speak, because now he's speaking like Vader. Yeah. They're trying to portray the change in Anakin in his voice. Yep. All little things that I never really picked up on until I watched the Clone Wars. It really opened my eyes to episode 3. I will say that.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah, I have no problem with Hayden Christensen. I have no problem with his portrayal. My whole issue is how that whole arc was written. It's just he's just an irredeemable character. So I never thought about that. That's interesting. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, man. I didn't want to get stuck on this for so long. We're 50 minutes in.
No, well, that's fine because I really think that the last few episodes are going to be heavy Vader and Reva.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
because we have a still severely broken Obi-Wan. There's got to be a turnaround at some point for that too, right? Like he needs his little redemption arc as well, where he finally accepts who he is and what's happened. Clearly, we've not seen the last of the two of them at least jawing at each other or facing off in some way. I'm sure there's going to be another confrontation. They're not going to have the ultimate confrontation halfway through the show. I'm sure there's going to be more of that. So
yeah, I'm just curious if the whole story of him looking over Luke is going to happen on another planet.
What do you mean?
Well, he's supposed to be on Tatooine looking over Luke for 10 years or 20 years or whatever it is. But so far in the show, he was on Tatooine in the first episode.
Right.
And then he's been fucked off through the galaxy rescuing Leia for the next two.
Yeah.
So are we going back to Tatooine or 100%. Is this, you think so?
Well, we have to. That's where we meet him in A New Hope, right?
Well, yes, he's eventually going to go back to Tatooine, but is that like going to be, the show ends and here I go flying back to Tatooine? You know what I mean?
Dude, maybe. I don't know. They can't just, I get your point, but they can't just have him sitting on Tatooine with a pair of binoculars just looking at Luke for 6 episodes. Like, they got to have him, he's got to have something to do.
It's funny you mentioned that because I can see quite a drama, a heavy drama, heavy psychological drama in a story like that. Of a man losing his mind looking over a kid he can't approach. Almost becoming a stalker. And you know what I mean? Like, I think there could have been a great story there. But, I'm the kind of guy that thinks that we still need a horror Star Trek. So
no, fair. But I think there still has to be a moment where, because when they see each other in A New Hope, they do recognize each other.
They do.
So clearly there has to be at some point
there's
level
some
of interaction
contact
between them, right?
Yes.
Because there's a 7-year difference because I think Luke is supposed to be 17 when he meets him in A New Hope, right? So there's something in that intervening 17 or 8 or 7 or 8 years or whatever. Yeah. Now, hands up, who got choked up? I'm actually going to put my hand down, but put your hand up if you got choked up at the recap. I know probably some of my Gen Z and my millennial friends got choked up at the recap at the start of episode 1. Yes, where they detailed all of the prequel series and how we got here. I'm sure there's some folks that were watching that, and I've seen some people posting about it, how that really kind of summed up that. Yeah, Marianne, me. Yeah, I pretty much there's an entire generation of people that probably watched that and it just hit them at their core to see that relationship in a microcosm like that.
I'm almost positive that some of the dialogue that we heard in that scene, because there's scenes where you see, and the dialogue goes with that scene. There's other parts where it's a scene and different dialogue over that scene. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Where you're seeing starships flying, but you're hearing Anakin and Obi-Wan talk, right?
Yeah.
Some of those audio clips are from Clone Wars. Almost 100% positive that some of those audio clips were from Clone Wars. There was at least 1 or 2 of them. There's like, oh, wait a second, that wasn't in the movies. I would have to go back and rewatch, but
sure. Because they were different voices, right? Like they were. I thought, Jeff isn't going to like these flashbacks.
Jeff just loves flashback scenes.
Your lady friend knows me so well. Yeah, Tim just made an interesting comment, and we've talked about this before, Tim, and I'll just reiterate is, let's stop hovering over the same period of time and the same characters. Why not go back to the start of the Jedi and Sith or way into the future of the Star Wars universe? Yeah, literally, we were talking about that last week, my friend, and that is what the Acolyte is going to be. That's going to take place during the High Republic, which is thousands of years ago, at the height of the Jedi.
I thought the High Republic was 400 years ago.
Oh, maybe it is. Whatever it is, it's the height of the
because
High Republic,
Yoda is going to be
Jedi
in this.
Powers. Oh, is he?
Yeah, we're going to get a young Yoda.
All of this, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. It's gonna be a young Jedi Yoda, so it's not thousands of years, but a long time. You know how this is a long time ago? This is gonna be a long time ago.
Right. Yeah. Hundreds of years. My apologies. Instead of thousands, hundreds of years.
The old Republic is thousands of years ago.
There you go. I was confused.
That's where I want them. I want them to go. Right. I want them to go Old Republic. Tell whole new stories.
Yeah, I think we're probably got to be getting to that sooner or later. Like all these shows you're throwing against the wall, and I know they're probably trying to do the Marvel thing. We're trying to, connect a bunch of dots and such. I get that, but it would be nice to get a few more shows where it's just something completely out of the timeline, where it's brand new characters, brand new stories. The need to hone that Rogue One magic that felt realistic and fresh, but still Star Wars. Well, I mean, I couldn't disagree with that more, but I know I am very much on the minority for that. So
yeah, no, he's right. I mean, the one thing that Rogue One did is even if a lot of people didn't like the movie, but at least it felt like Star Wars.
Movie they've ever done. Man, Tim, you and I, we were like this. Now we're still like this, but I'm the one over here.
I think Tim is talking about Disney. Oh. Rogue One is still the best movie Disney's ever done, and I 100% agree. Rogue One is by far the best Disney Star Wars movie they've made. You think it's Force Awakens?
100% it's a Force Awakens.
Yeah, I disagree.
Talk about feeling like Star Wars. You think Rogue One felt like more of a Star Wars movie than The Force Awakens? Okay.
Yes.
I can't even be friends with you two anymore. I'm signing off of the podcast forever. Good luck, kids. Jesus, The Force Awakens gets shit for being too much like A New Hope, which is the ultimate Star Wars movies. And you guys think that Rogue One is more of a Star Wars movie than The Force Awakens? Y'all got to put down the crack pipe and stop those drugs.
No, that's not what we're saying at all, Jeff.
Bad.
We're saying it was a better movie. We're not saying it's more of a Star Wars movie. We're saying it was a better movie.
Okay. It sounded like you guys said that it was the more Star Wars of the two movies. I'm like, y'all crazy. It's also not the better movie, but that's a matter of opinion. We can discuss that. Love Rogue One. I think everybody but me loved Rogue One, and that's fine. We can love different things. That's okay.
No, look, we like to pick on you, Jeff, but I think everybody understands what your issue is with Rogue One, and I don't think anybody can disagree. I think it's just a matter of, most of us just still enjoyed it for what it is. Where,
man, I'm not.
Where you're wrong. It is what it is.
That's right. You're wrong about Discovery. I'm wrong about Rogue One. Apparently, we get to be wrong. Megan, if she's still watching, she was wrong about Lower Decks. We all get to be wrong about something, right?
The new season of Lower Decks has been announced, by the way. If I remember correctly, they actually announced that they're going to make 2 new seasons of Lower Deck.
Oh, good.
So that's coming. We cannot love different things. Unacceptable. Well,
Agreed. Screw
that's
everyone.
That's how the world works, unfortunately. We can't all like the same things. Because
that's what Jeff was saying earlier.
How fun would that be?
Yeah. Opinions are like assholes. We all have them. Most of them stink. So
I'm assuming because you didn't watch any of the animated shows, you didn't catch the Quinlan Vos reference.
Who?
Yeah. So when Obi-Wan gets brought back.
I know when. Yeah.
Okay.
The little, and he was the writing on the Orabesh, by the way, if you guys are wanting to know what the lettering is, it's called Orabesh. Orabesh, yes. And there's people
like the Jedi writing, the Jedi,
that's the galactic standard writing that you're seeing in any of the screens that are coming up in any of these things. It's in Orabesh. So
interesting.
And then neckbeards and nerds sit there and try to decipher it all. Quinlan Vos, is that what you said?
Quinlan Vos, yeah. They dropped that name. He's a character that was created. Well, I don't know if it was created for Star Wars for Clone Wars, but he was featured in Clone Wars. He had a couple of episodes. I think we may have even seen him once in Rebels. But he's definitely still around in this timeline. I think we're actually going to get a live action version of him.
He's a Jedi?
He's a Jedi. He's one of the few remaining Jedis. Quinlan Vos was, I want to say much like Qui-Gon, but actually worse than Qui-Gon. He was known for being defiant of the Jedi Council. He liked to do his own thing. He had his own way of seeing what the Force wanted him to do.
When does Rebels take place timeline-wise? Is it post Return of the Jedi or pre?
So it's pre-New Hope.
What's pre-New Hope? Okay.
Yeah. So Rebels happens 3 or 4 years after the point we're at now in Obi-Wan.
3 or 4 years after.
So Obi-Wan basically is 10 years after Order 66.
Right.
Rebels happens at the same time as Rogue One.
Okay.
There's a scene from Rogue One that is in Rebels.
So
in the movie Rogue One, you see the Rebels droid, Chopper. There's a scene in Rogue One where you see Chopper roll by.
Okay.
And you actually see, I believe, their ship at one point. Or maybe, no, you see their ship in the last one.
Isn't Saw Gerrera in one of those shows?
Saw Gerrera is in, I think he's in both, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he was introduced in Clone Wars, but he was also in Rebels.
So here's my timeline question for you. A big deal is made, especially in A New Hope and Empire, talking about how Luke is the last of their last hope, essentially, like he is the last of the Jedi.
He's the New Hope.
Right. So Yoda actually says, no, sorry, Ben says that boy is our only hope, and Yoda says, no, there is another. And of course, he's referring to Leia at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Be real for that. But in the canon timeline now, how many Jedi are out in the galaxy during this time frame, during the time frame of 4, 5, and 6, would you say? Now,
so very few.
All this
very few. So there's Yoda, there's Obi-Wan,
right?
There is Ahsoka, who's not technically a Jedi.
Right, but I mean,
she walked away from the Jedi.
Yes, from the Order, but she has like all the powers and.
Well, so she does, but she also doesn't consider herself a Jedi. She won't get involved in Jedi business.
No, I get
that's why she's not helping Luke.
No, I understand.
Right? She's there and she knows him and she'll talk to him, but she's not going to help him with the Jedi Order because that's not what she does, right?
For sure. Are there others? Who's Ezra? I keep hearing about an Ezra.
So Ezra is a kid. So Ezra would technically still be around, but Ezra was lost in space. So we're assuming the whole story of Ahsoka's show, based on the little tidbits that we've seen in Mandalorian season 2, she's still looking for him. That's what her series is going to be: is them and the Rebels crew finally trying to find Ezra. But he's been missing since before A New Hope. Since before A New Hope, he's been lost in space, right? With Thrawn. Him and Thrawn get taken over by these light speed space whales. Yeah. It was a little bit weird how it ended. But they're gone. Like they got taken away, and
man, watch out for them space whales.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's a rough go. Okay,
but as of right now, though, in the Obi-Wan timeline, there would be quite a few still.
Right.
When I say quite a few, I mean there may be a dozen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But the closer you get to A New Hope, the less of them there are.
Right.
To a point where
the Inquisitors and all that stuff.
That's the whole point of the Inquisitors and Vader's program, right. Inquisitor program, right? Is to find and weed out those Jedis. Right. The one from the video game, what's his name?
Star Killer? Is that who you mean?
No.
From the new video game.
From the newer video game, Fallen Order. His name is
Shecky Greenblatt.
No.
After A New Hope, it's really Fallen Order. Cad
anyway, in Jedi Fallen Order, there's also a Jedi that's on the run, but I'm not 100% sure.
She says it's Cal.
Cal.
There you go.
Cal Kestis.
There you go.
Cal Kestis. He was a kid in Order 66 and got away.
Gotcha.
Same with the guy from Rebels that trains Ezra. Hang on. I can't believe I forget all these names now.
I never knew them, if that helps.
Let's see here. Characters. Here we go. Kanan, played by Freddie Prinze Jr. in Rebel. Kanan Jarrus. But he dies.
That guy.
So he's no longer, by the time A New Hope comes around, he's no longer there either.
Okay.
So, like there are other ones, but they're dwindling fast at this time, in this timeline.
I got you.
Like, look, there was that other guy in episode 2.
That other guy.
Right? He was a Jedi, and then he went to Obi-Wan saying, Obi-Wan, you need to help me out. And he's like, leave me alone. And then he gets hung. You know what I mean?
No.
So he's not dead.
Yeah, I get it. I haven't seen or read or watched all of the ancillary stuff, so I just didn't know if there were going to be other Force sensitive good guy users that were going to be around during that time frame that kind
There
of
are.
lost in the shuffle. Yeah,
There are. There could be a number of people that could come into this series, a number of Jedi that could come in to help out. I don't know that we're really gonna see any of them. Marianne says Kanan with a
sad face,
frowny face, sad face. Yeah, he dies horribly. He gets blown up saving his crew, basically.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, he gets blown up saving his crew, and it's basically what sets off Ezra on
with the
downward spiral path to the space whales. Yes, exactly.
The space whales.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is there anything else? Oh, can we 4 seconds talking about how fucking cute little Leia is? Can we talk oh my God.
She's perfect. She so must perfect for the role
at all costs. I understand she's going to live because she's Leia. That's fine. I get it. That's the whole prequel thing. That's part of the prequel nonsense that I hate. But oh my God. And maybe it's because I have daughters and now a granddaughter. I don't know. But that precocious little 10-year-old might be my favorite character on that show. She is brilliant. She's so cute and sassy. She's perfect, says Marianne. I could not agree more. I want to give her squishes. She can be my squishy. I will squish her.
Yeah, she is 100% perfect.
Yeah.
There's something in the way that she speaks to her dad and the way that she speaks to everybody else screams Carrie Fisher.
100%.
They got it so bang on. I feel like it's she's amazing. Yeah. I
imagine being 10 years older, how old she actually is, and you've got to act alongside Ewan McGregor for that time frame.
She probably doesn't even know who he is, right?
No,
she's probably too
young
young to really get it.
At least he's like an established. The show's named after his character. That he's a big established actor.
Yeah,
and and she's crushing it.
Yeah.
So good, man. So good. Yeah. If she goes, we riot. That's all I got to say. I don't want to see her frozen carbonate. I don't want to see her abducted and off screen. She needs to be on the show. I don't care what happens to Luke. We know what happens to Luke. I want more Leia. This is cool. We know Luke's on Tatooine. There's nothing. They're gonna farm moisture. Who gives a shit? I want to see more of Leia. I want to see what's going on there. That's chef's kiss.
I love that they are showing us hints of her Force power.
A little bit, yeah.
She can read people very easily.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's neat.
Yeah. When she looks over at him though in that third episode and she's like, "Are you my real father?" I was like, "Oh,
are you my father?"
God.
Yeah.
And all he can say is no. He can't be like, "No, your father is probably the greatest mass murderer in the galaxy right now." Sorry. Yeah, he killed a room full of kids. Anyways.
Yeah, their father's the one trying to kill us right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's the one that's hunting us. That's great. Yeah. Your mom was baller, but yeah, your dad's not great. Well, your mom was cool, but she died because she was sad. But other than that.
That whole scene with her running away in the market.
Yeah.
From Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And then it just felt like we need a way to get Obi-Wan into trouble so that you know what I mean? Like it felt so
character
gimmicky.
Though. Yeah, but
good character.
Yeah. In character for sure. Like that is 100% something she would do. So I was okay with it. They established it earlier. She ran away during the meeting that she was supposed to have. She ran to the forest and with her little robot Lola there and everything else. So yeah, no. She is a precious being and she must be protected at all costs.
Yeah, she's doing a great job, and I hope that we see some of Luke.
Yeah. I'm looped up to here, man. Give me more Leia. Give me all the Leia. I'm
curious to see what a young Luke would be like.
You saw him. He was on top of that igloo that they live in, and he was like, cool, man. I'm good. We're good. We got way too much Luke already. I love Luke, but we're done. Anyway.
Well, we are done.
Yes, we're done.
I mean, it's been an hour and 7 minutes.
That's right.
And what time do you have to be out in the morning?
Oh, I think we're going to get there early. I want to do some shopping in Niagara and maybe have lunch, and then, but the con doesn't start till 3. So, but I think we're going to leave pretty early in the morning, and then, spend some time.
Well, how far are you from Niagara?
About 2 hours. Which is another reason why it's good to leave early. That way, we're avoiding all the traffic and all that shit too.
So if you want to be there to have lunch and do some shopping, I mean, you're leaving like early. Like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Probably around 8 o'clock in the morning would be my guess. Get there for 10-ish, do some shopping, grab some lunch,
Are
get
you
checked
going down
in.
with anybody, or are you driving down there alone?
No. Yeah. So the SO is coming with and getting an opportunity to do some gambling and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, it should be good, man.
Well, that should be
It'll
fun.
be a good time. Yeah. It'll be a good time.
So is she going to be hanging out at the casino while you're out?
That is
conning?
correct.
That's the
That is
plan?
correct.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
correct. That is the plan. So see you there. Yes, Marianne, I will see you there. I just saw your lineup today. So yes, look for Riker on Friday, Comedian on Saturday, and Ron Burgundy on Sunday. So keep your eyes peeled. I mean, it's a
What's
big
Marianne
night,
doing?
but
I didn't see her lineup.
You will have to check that out.
Let's see. I'm curious now. Oh yeah, cool. Oh, she's doing a Twi'lek or a Twi'lek, however you want to pronounce it, on Friday. She's doing Frog Lady on Saturday, and some Disney character that I don't want to pronounce myself because I'm not sure I'm going to get it right.
Try.
I don't
Throw it
know.
out
I'm
there.
assuming it's a character
Do it.
from Frozen, but it's not Elsa. It's the other sister, I'm guessing.
Can't wait. I won't see you well on Saturday. Yeah, I won't be moving well on Saturday because I'm going to be wearing this bullshit back here. So I haven't worn it in years. It's extremely uncomfortable to wear. So
Anna. There you go. It's Anna. I see. I was right.
there
I
you
just
go.
didn't know the name. I was right.
Frozen 2. You're right. You
Yeah.
got it. Well done.
There you go. There you go. Shows you how much I know my Disney.
Your Disney stuff. Exactly.
Yes. Hey, listen. Have a good time this weekend.
Thanks, man.
Everybody that's watching that's going to be at Niagara Falls, well, you guys have a great time as well. Sorry we won't be there. Maybe next year. But I'm assuming we will be seeing a lot of you guys at Fan Expo anyway. So
yes.
that'll be cool. So you guys all have a great time. Thanks for sticking with us. Drinks. Yeah. Michael and his
so
drinks.
many
Eh?
drinks, so many
It's all
drinks.
about the drinks. Yes.
You're going to get a white girl waste.
Well, listen, thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate all the time you spend with us. There were a couple of people watching online as well here on Facebook and YouTube. So thanks for everybody.
Nice.
Make sure you click that like and subscribe buttons. It's super important, but that will be it. So
That will be it.
We will see you next week.
You will.
Make sure you stay geeky, everybody.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching.
Live long and prosper, my friends.
Well, wrong franchise, but that's
Oh, I'm sorry. I have the high ground. Anakin,
That's
don't
okay.
do it. You are my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
yeah. I hate you.
That's the way to end the live right there.